No.
All right, well, let's crank this out. Hey, how are ya?
Hey, how are ya?
Hey, were ya?
Well, we hit the lines and the Steve's asked a bunch of questions. I think we should just dive right in. What do you think?
Come on.
Sure,
All right,
let's go.
first one, I mean, kind of an obvious one. Buddy asked here, what was your favorite spot on the leg one of tour? Now, this was I know Mike rolls his eyes. We all I'm sure you had a favorite skis.
I got a favorite. I got a clear favorite.
I got a favorite too. It's probably the same as yours.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Chicago?
The venue, I felt like I was
Venue
playing
was out of bounds.
I was in like Florence, Italy.
Yeah, bro. Venue was out of bounds.
Yeah, the
I had
Aragon
all my
Ballroom.
dogs in town. You had a bunch of your dogs and your family in town.
Yep.
That was just that. Was,
Marcus,
Yeah.
his kid was there. It just felt so full circle.
It was a special night.
Sister was there. I mean, the venue, I've never been in a place like that.
Yeah.
And it was on a Monday, and I remember worrying about it because it was like the only show that like we really went for it. Like that was a fucking huge venue on a Monday, like ballsy, you know. And like no, we didn't. We had sold out the venue. That was the second upgrade, so it counts as a sellout. But the whole tour was sold out, and like I was looking at that one, and that one wasn't technically, even though it is technically a sellout because you know we advanced venues.
Mm-hmm.
On the stat card, it's a sellout, but like I was worried about how it was gonna feel when you get in like
That thing
half
was
rooms or
booming.
something, and it was booming, and it was just such a. And then I just loved the show. I had Marcus come out vibing on stage a bunch, like just loved it. That was definitely my favorite.
It was nice to see the difference of backstage energy from years prior to this one.
Yeah,
We have footage of like Marcus coming in with his girl and his family and his little baby, and you're like balancing the baby. You're balancing.
look at the baby. Look at the baby.
Look at the baby. You're balancing the baby. You're all smiling.
Monetize the baby.
Monetize the baby.
Yeah,
Monetize the baby. And then I just think back to like 8 years earlier at like, I don't know, somewhere backstage in Des Moines, and there's just like a bunch of chicks shaking their butts and stuff.
Just shaking their butts around vigorously.
Yeah, different kind of babies. Now the babies are actually babies.
I was directly across the balcony from Mike's green room scenario. We had a good party going on the other side.
Yeah.
We had somebody. Yeah, there was a lot of cigarettes being smoked
I was bopping
inside.
I was bopping back and forth between the two.
It was a party
after parties.
going on over there.
Darts inside became a reality for us this tour because of skis.
Yeah, I mean that's tough, but it had, you know,
Darts
part of
inside is like, as much as I'm not a cigarette guy, which there's some footage that we just recently
I was going to say we just got some footage of Michael.
potentially be
That's so good.
an argument to that point I just made. But I'm not a cigarette guy, but there's something slightly nourishing to my soul when we're smoking cigarettes inside, and it literally
You got your
says
feet on the ground.
It literally says
blue collar.
nothing matters. We don't care what anyone thinks.
Yeah.
Your rules don't matter, but we're also not doing it in a way that's rude necessarily. It's just like we don't give a fuck.
No. Skis, what's the most amount of cigarettes you smoked in one day?
Probably that show I had in Scottsdale.
If you had a ballpark.
Bro, oh my God.
Like 2 packs? More than 2 packs in a day?
Are you talking about a 24-hour or a wake
Like
up
a
to
night.
notice?
Like a
We
night.
turned hi-fi into an ashtray that
I mean,
night.
bro, in college I was a problem.
Like throw a number out there.
I mean, yeah, I probably put Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely put down over 2 packs in a day.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Well, bro, because there was one day when I was
That's
back in my
disgusting. Where's my
fraternity
dip?
days. Yeah, where's my dip? Back in my fraternity days, I didn't ever get hazed much, but the one thing that they made me do, which I thought was funny, they made me smoke a whole pack of cigarettes at once. So
At
it was
once?
Like in like a honeycomb. Like, you know what I mean? Like
That's
the rubber end.
That's like one of those tactics that you do when you find your kid smoking. And
Yeah.
he's like 14. You make him
Yeah.
smoke a whole pack, so he's so
Well,
disgusted.
tell me your angle on this. We'll switch this up. When I catch my kid smoking weed for the first time, I've had this idea for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put him in the garage, in the car. He's gonna hotbox 2 blunts by himself. No music, no phone, pitch black. Panic.
Yeah, the ego death.
And then let him sit in there and let him sit there for an
That's
hour.
mental warfare, dude.
Bro, to this day, I've smoked a lot of weed. I would just break out of the car.
It's ego death.
I'd panic in there.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to ruin your kid's childhood, then yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
He won't be smoking dope for at least a few months.
So
He'll panic.
So why do you were smoking weed when you were 14. Why are you gonna care if your kid's doing it?
No, I'm not gonna care. I'm just gonna say if you want to do this, then this is how this is what can happen.
This is what can happen.
This is what can happen.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah. And no, and like I'll never say anything again. Like he can continue if he wants, and I won't say anything. But I think that's scared. That's scared.
Yeah.
Straight.
I don't think kids should be smoking weed before they're 18, really.
That's not true.
I don't.
Me and my brother would have hated each other forever if we didn't smoke weed together.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a blanket statement. I just think the brain's developing, and like I do really value what weed's done for me, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that's wrong. For whatever reason, I just feel like
I get it. There's an age though.
I just feel like you just like it's just early to
A little
like
too young to utilize it the correct way.
Yeah, just like I don't know.
I think the real issue with like the young smoking is that you're right. Like you're not allowed to like smoke at your crib, so you're doing all this dumb shit to smoke, and it's like you shouldn't be cruising around stoned at 16.
Yeah, no, I
type
mean,
of thing.
It's just like you got so much. I don't know. You just got so much to just learn in this plane still. Like when you get higher and like if you don't know how to manage it, and I don't know. It's just it could. I think when you start really early, I don't know.
My mind opened up though when I started smoking weed, like to a lot of different things.
Yeah,
bro. Like the first time I caught my
valid.
brother smoking weed, I was 13. It was like it was probably like a couple of weeks before I smoked for the first time. We're sneaking out of the house. I think we were probably drinking at the time. I'm not sure. We're sneaking out of the crib. We got a bunch of people hanging out. I see my brother hit a joint. I go up to him. I'm like, yeah, you're not my brother anymore. Like, I'm over it. I disowned him. I was like, you're not my brother anymore. Like I'm over it. I went home.
The disown play as from the younger brother is such a funny
Bro,
move.
I'm 13. I'm sneaking out of the crib.
Just
Bro,
disgusted.
you're not my brother anymore. You can do whatever you want with those guys.
Yeah.
I'm out. 2 weeks later, smoke weed for the first time. You couldn't find me without a little bit of dope on me.
Yeah.
For the next
Do you think that harms your development?
Can't tell yet.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Right.
So far, so
I
good.
mean, I think that's a good answer.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I've had terrible times with weed,
Yeah.
but like, it's a balancing act.
But if you're diagnosed with like an eating disorder or anxiety or depression, it's better than taking like Xanax as a fucking 16-year-old.
Yeah, but anxiety.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But I also just think like that if we want to go down this path, you're gonna get me going. But I just really think like if you're, there's obviously outliers and there's definitely chemical imbalances and there's that type of thing. But like generally speaking, you sit on your fucking TikTok and Instagram all day and then you play video games and then you go to school and don't pay attention because you hate what you're learning. And you're not outside and you're not spending any time. Even as kids, I'm just saying like a little bit of time. I know I didn't want to read and grow my mind. I get that. I'm just saying like being outside, having a little bit of health consciousness for your kids, like, and whatever, just like what they're eating, getting some exercise, getting sunlight. I guarantee your kid will be a lot happier, like before I feed them a Xanax or like we're going for walks every day. We're going on hikes. Like, we're going to try to find hobbies to do and get exercise. They won't know the difference. They won't realize that because they're outside, they're getting sunlight, they're getting some exercise, that their actually hearts, like their heart's more full. They're a little bit more open to fucking enjoying their time, Like I see the way it's going with people eating like shit and the kids are just staying inside. And then, bro, like taking a Xanax or taking Adderall when you're in your teens, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy, bro. You have so much brain development still.
And that's legal and the weed isn't.
Oh, bro,
they're
trying
plugging kids up with Adderall young.
Early.
Kindergarten vibes.
Yeah.
Bro, can you imagine? Like, that's the worst,
And
bro.
like Ritalin for ADD, like it's insane.
Yeah, kids. That's a crazy theory about kids where like kids actually have life figured out. Infants they are literally like, yes, on a human plane, they can't do shit. But like, ever watch a kid play and just they're the most present thing out there. They're not thinking about anything else. They're able to enjoy and react. They can move in and out of emotions. He could cry and then laugh a second later. Like they're so present. And I actually feel like that's what like, as if you go into adulthood and then it's the adults that like have that piece of their childhood still in them, their youth, that never lose their youth, those are the best adults. I really feel that way. Those are the most productive, creative, innovative people that have that childhood feeling to them still. They're still able to connect and be present. I think I don't know. I just think that's where at least when I'm thinking about having kids, which I am, ASAP, to be honest.
Come on.
I can't wait to just like tap into they're the best. I was just at home with Brielle. I chilled. I've never wanted to hang out and talk to more people in my life than at the fucking, I picked Brielle up from school. There's a playground right there. All the parents are around. I was just vibing with the kids for 2 hours.
You want to know what my mom's...
I loved it. I was fascinated with the Brielle's friends. They're so fucking cute. And they're just like, they're a little dynamic and like how they're taking everything in, bro. I was literally a shot out of a cannon, enjoying myself, like had a blast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can't really say I do that with like stranger adults or have that need or feeling or like drawn to them. I was super drawn to it. Super drawn to the kids. And I just, like I would hang out with Brielle all fucking day.
You had a song called Youth Back in the Day. Remember that one?
Yeah.
It's my mom's favorite song of yours, by the way.
Yeah.
She never shuts up about it.
La, 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 la,
No, not that one. Not that one. I'm talking about the remix.
Oh, Youth.
Youth. The remix. The fun remix. Let me make art with my words. Welcome to my gallery. Wall full of life. You are looking at reality. And then later on you say, if you're looking in your rear view, you're missing what's in front of you.
Bro, I was talking to talk.
You were ahead of your time.
You were
ahead of your
talking
time.
to talk. I really was. And like the weird part is, how weird is it though? I only expressed it in my music, really. Like 2014, like that wasn't my vibe in person. It was like inside me.
Yeah.
And I could sit there, because I was writing lyrics, I could sit there and like, it was like tapping into like a poetry bone that I had in my body that I never tapped into. You do poems and shit. So like, I think sitting there and just like writing, these things were in my soul, but like if you were around me, I would never be, you know? So
Well, that's like something that's like, I mean, that's like, that's been a struggle for probably everybody, like for so long, bro. It's like things that you feel, it's like, man, I want to feel that way. And you can write it down and you can like think about it, but it's like, how do you get yourself to have that feeling? It's like you're chasing that feeling, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's half the things, like anything that I write about is like poem-wise, not music-wise necessarily, is like, yeah, bro, I want to feel the way these words are coming onto this paper, but I can't like get there.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like super hard to attain.
That's interesting.
Some of the things that are like,
I think I have a different experience with words
like,
and shit, but.
I'm big on that with all my favorite songwriters.
Well, I guess that's
too.
what
I'm
that
like,
was. Like
all my favorite songwriters too. I'm like, I'm hearing the way they write music. I'm like, dog, they're feeling like something crazy. To be able to get those words out and like that's how you express it. Like you have to be feeling something like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think artists. That's why artists are artists, right? And they have millions of people. That's like if you're a fan of an artist and they're portraying, they're relaying something that like you want to say, but you can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You feel it, but you can't express it, or, you know, or it makes you feel how you want to feel,
That's
you know?
that Morgan record that Thought You Should Know.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was trying to write when I wrote my song Mama.
Yeah.
But I wasn't even close.
Yeah.
I heard it and I was like, God.
I forget the name of the guy who came up with this method, but it's called the gap, a theory. It's like a philosophy. It's an artist creative philosophy. And every great artist, and they say great because they stayed long enough to close the gap. And really becoming a great artist is just you never stop. And you close the gap. You have this gap of what you have in your head and in your heart that you're trying to say. Like for me, I had this crazy gap to get to the mic sound. Like Mike Stud, I was like literally just slowly closing the gap.
Well, musically,
of what I wanted to make and what I was
musically,
making.
You started from zero.
Right.
You know, like when you first started making music, like lyrically you're inclined, but musically you were like,
I had no idea what I was doing.
You started from scratch.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So the gap was big.
So like there was this big gap. And then like I remember in like 2015, 16, 17, I started thinking about like I didn't know what the name was going to be, but changing. And then the sound, where I remember talking to people about it and they'd be like, you could tell they were just like, oh fuck, he's hitting that point where he doesn't know what he's supposed to sound like anymore. When I would talk about like, it's not country, but it feels like country a little bit, and like started thinking about what the sound was. I had this in my head. Like there was a gap from 2012 when I started, and then to like 2017 where I feel like I maximized the Mike Stud stuff. Like I got These Days off, in that era. Like I got a hit off in that. But then a whole other phase of a gap where I was like, I have this idea for a sound, but I can't make it yet. Mm-hmm. And I literally just fucking put myself in the studio every single day. I manifested relationships. I go to fucking Nashville on a whim. I meet Charlie Handsome and Ernest my first hour in Nashville.
Wow.
Like I went to Nashville to go link with them because I had this idea in my head. And my boy Nick Audino was like, yo, I know these guys you should talk to. I flew to Nashville. You came with, right? Were you with us?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't
it
think
was
so.
Blue and Versace
Yeah.
and Foley, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. But, you know, that's what you're saying is exactly that. Like, and all you have to do is do this for another however long. Could be a few years, could be 4 years, but you'll be able to, like, that's how I feel where I'm at now. I could kind of say exactly what I got in there in a way that I want to hear it. Like, it's just reps, closing that gap, you know, until you get there.
And just the awareness to know where you want to go.
It's another struggle as an artist.
Yeah.
And that always changes too.
It does. It evolves. It's a moving target.
Yeah. Let's talk about Skis for a second. Aaron Opie asked, is Skis working on an album yet? What's the future of Skis looking like?
Yeah, I mean, fuck, man. You caught me stoned.
No, you're good. We were texting about it last night. We have a lot of great ideas. I don't think there's an album in the works because it's just too early, and like we can build we want to build an incredible listenership so that that listenership can be served a great album. If you serve an album before there's a listenership, it's a little bit counterintuitive. And I feel like I have this why Skis is a perfect kind of guinea pig for this theory that I've had in my head, because I knew my fans would really like him as a person, which I think is really important. That was checkbox number one for me. Mm-hmm. But I also know that I have a big listenership personally, and funneling somebody in with music that's not similar, but in the same atmosphere, you know, like it may make you feel the same way, and you know, or something like that. I know feeding my fans the music directly, algorithmically, the way we're doing it. That's why I'm putting out songs with myself on it with him. Mm-hmm. One, because I fucking like the songs and I want to be on them. But two, these people are getting served those songs. All it is as an artist, as a new artist, there's so many new artists, it's so hard to get people's ears and attention, genuine ears.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to come up on a fucking playlist or hear it at a party and be, but like, no, we're serving you directly, and we know that you like shit that's kind of similar. And we also know that you fuck with the artist that's, you know what I mean? It's like a really good ecosystem to fucking put somebody like Skis in, and it's working. You know, we put 2 songs out, it's growing. The growth rate on his shit is insane, you know? So we're just gonna, as far as the albums go, like it's probably, you know, I don't know. It's too early to think about. But we do have, we got an amazing lineup of ideas and songs that just need to be executed. Some of them are 90% done. Some of them are literally just ideas, like 10%ers that we know are going to be great songs. So yeah, really excited.
And in the near future, there's some good stuff coming up. I think we're going to win the summer. What do you boys think?
I think we're
going to win the summer.
I think we got to win the summer.
What were we saying? Like a month ago. We said we're bunting all summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're bunting all summer.
Yeah, like I went in.
What does that even mean?
Oh,
it means
we know what it means.
It means like we're moving. Like I've been in this phase creatively. Like I have a bunch. We're so teed up with great ideas. So it's like, yeah. The idea is just like that's kind of the notion. It's just like we're teed up and we're advancing the runner. We're playing smart.
That's going to be a home run.
That's what it is.
We're advancing the runner. We're playing smart. Like
into the cheap seats.
Yeah, like if it's first and second, no, I'm bunting mine. I'm bunting. I'm advancing the runner. We're getting runs. Yeah, we're scoring. We're advancing.
Let's turn 2.
Yeah, we're gonna turn 2.
Not on me, but
Yeah, but no, I mean, winning the summer is you could fucking mark this right here. We're gonna win the summer. We have a bunch of amazing songs. We're hustling to have like a whole lineup of great songs.
I think
this
we
whole
might
summer.
fuck it. It goes into fall, right? It goes into fall.
Yeah. Then
we got.
Then we're gonna have to win the fall.
I was gonna say we got some fall records.
Yeah, we got some fall.
We got some real life
Let's
fall records.
stick with the summer. Let's talk about like 2 for a second. We have 19 shows ahead of us.
Yeah.
It starts in 3 weeks, which is kind of right around the corner.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've gotten enough rest in between legs?
Trying.
I know Skis hasn't slowed down one fucking bit.
These guys, it's hard when you guys Skis and Blue in the same.
It's tough,
in the same house.
But I'm in my duffel, so it's just like, how do you not do it?
Memorial Day.
It was Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend. Skis is doing 2-a-days.
Skis is Memorial Day weekend in human form.
I was Memorial Day weekend, and I'm very happy about it.
You were.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
That was a serious effort you put forth.
Yeah, and you want to know what's crazy? It gets even more hectic on 4th of July because my birthday is July 1st.
Oh man.
So I go first.
We have an off day on July 4th.
Oh man.
And we're
that's on
coming
tour.
we're coming out of Providence too.
I'm gonna be getting my ass kicked on that little 4-day.
I'm looking forward to being back on tour. Honestly, last tour was pretty eye opening for me. I didn't. I never
had a fucking.
I never would have thought that I could. I never would
I
have
think the whole
thought that.
country knows you had a blast.
Yeah, the whole country
Yeah.
knows.
I never would have thought I could enjoy it touring. Like I was sober for 90% of the moments.
Yeah.
You know, like even if I had a few drinks with me, that does nothing to me. You know, like most nights I walked on stage sober, and thoroughly enjoyed it. I really enjoyed performing in that state, but also just like it was fun to like get off stage and like have a drink or two. You know what I mean? And that was like my new wave for me. Where I don't know, like I think I enjoyed it more. If I had put my body through it for real, I think I'd be like, man, this is way too soon. I don't want to go on tour again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now, I feel like I could go on tour in 2 weeks.
So I didn't see you during the day. What was like your regimen usually? Like waking up until time for sound
Woke
check?
up to Phil giving me a full address.
Phil's our security guard.
I woke up to Phil.
His sauce.
Phil would come up to me and talk to me and pull me aside. You would have thought that there was a threat,
Like a security briefing.
like a security threat that
And
day.
he's wearing like Oakleys and like he's wearing all black. He's got a bald head.
and he goes,
He's in his 50s.
all right, the gym's on the 11th floor. There's 5 ellipticals. Weights up to 50. A few pec fly machines, those kind of things. There's a bocce ball. What are the balls? The Bosu balls?
Yeah.
It's a Bosu ball, get some balance. Because he knows I'm working on my core and my balance. Really sweet guy, hilarious guy. But no, I would usually wake up. I'd sleep like I was sleeping like a baby on the bus. So I'd wake up, there'd be people loading in already, you know. Mm-hmm. So I'd go get a nice like solo lunch, which is nice for me. Just no talking, just sit, eat lunch. Usually get a little workout, talk to my girl. She was in Europe most of the time, so like it was nighttime for her. You know what I mean? So I made talk with her, catch a vibe, and then I'd get a workout, every 3 days probably or so.
Yeah.
But really, like, it's not really a ton of time, because I start like with meditating and fucking reading a little bit or anything. Take a long shower. Like I gotta go over there. I go over there like an hour before the meet and greet, which is at like 5. So it's not a ton of time. I usually get like 12 to 4.
Yep.
Where I'm like in the hotel, alone. I did try to venture out. Some of those days, and I got my ass kicked every time. Like I would, because it's actually an interesting point. Like on tour for me, I get a pretty honest glimpse of like what being A-list famous would be. Yeah. Because that's Post Malone's every day.
Every day, yeah.
You go outside.
This
like,
is the concentrated, like everyone
every
theory.
day.
you're getting hammered wherever you go, pretty much, if you're him.
Exactly.
For me, like this is all these thieves come in, and we're in this general vicinity of like 5 miles. Like everyone's in around that area.
Yep.
So like, all of our hotels, they don't want me far away. So like I'm close. So if I go out and walk around and try to get a little solo lunch or like anything, like there was a few times I wanted to go for walks. I just went for like, trying to get my walk in, and I would just get bopped left and right. Fans come by, So those were probably the days where it got away from me a little bit. I remember there's one that stands out. I was in Detroit. I went to Shake Shack. I was like, I'm gonna catch a Shake Shack vibe solo and just relax.
Mike came back shook up.
What happened?
Really did.
What happened?
I mean, I walked in, there was 40 fans in there.
Oh my God.
Like it was like, and some dudes that came from Canada. And they were shot out of a fucking can.
They always are.
And bro, I'm in line. Like when I walk in line, like I think a few people
and you're
noticed.
Probably stoned.
Few people was stoned.
Which is the worst.
Definitely stoned. Few people noticed me. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Like I'm alone, solo.
Yeah.
And then fucking, I think they like hollered at their boys that were like in the hotel right nearby. They mobbed in like 30 deep. And then they caught in behind me. So I literally, it was like an interview. I talked for like an hour with them while I was waiting for.
You did a keynote.
I stepped aside and text Phil. I was like, code red, Shake Shack, code red, need you now.
Need you now. Dude, that's so good.
Phil's like thinking.
Mike came back exhausted.
And then I had to go into a meet and greet, and I was just, it is interesting how much energy that does,
Yeah, for sure.
It does take away from you. So yeah, really good experience. Fucking loved it. I'm excited to go back on, to be honest.
Would you say your drinking tolerance has gone down?
No.
Like it's easier for you? Because, Buddy here asked, how many beers does it take you guys to get drunk?
Yeah, for me, I'm
getting housed
it's
off of
definitely
5
going
beers.
down, but like, it's definitely going down. I would say that comparatively to the times I'm just zapping full time. I mean, this year I partied probably the hardest I ever did. And I think that's why I'm at where I'm at. That was like a last hurrah. Like this year and a half of traveling, and bro, I'm actually gonna stand by this. I think on those nights I drank 50, 60 drinks, spanning from beers, seltzers, mixed drinks,
Shots.
Blue Boys, shots,
Yep.
back at the house, beer pong, seltzers, chug buds, look at the baby, the whole time.
Look at the baby.
Christ.
Look at the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
it's
it's a
like
lot.
It's
it's
gotta
a
be
genuine.
50.
Yeah, it's a genuine
30
it's a
plus.
genuine 35.
Yeah, 30
But
plus.
there's a chance.
There's those nights it was
Well, bro, there's those nights where we're starting at honestly, we haven't gone to sleep. Like I took my nap because I had to take my nap.
I didn't even do those.
Yeah, Mike didn't even do those. But no, yeah, there was like in a 24-hour period, there was 50 drinks drank. I think easy.
How much do you think I drank on those 4 days of the birthday vendor?
200 drinks.
Probably more.
I think it's more than 200 drinks. I think it's for
It
sure.
didn't stop.
Well, that was like
It was
five.
sick.
It was like 4 nights, 5 days.
Oh, man.
I was actually in shambles.
Yeah,
after that.
it was a baker's cruise.
My body was just like, what are you doing? Is this the end? Is this the end? Like there was
First artist to overdose on beer.
Bro, literally. Well, I told you. Yeah, we talked about
there's
this.
definitely some other shit going on.
Yeah, we've talked about it every time we go on, but I saw Michael on his hands and knees trying to get back up to his bed. And
I wasn't praying to the good
No,
Lord.
he was not. He was fighting his ass off. He was pulling on the blanket.
I was praying to the devil, I think.
Yeah, you were doing something, man. He
out
was
to
like,
devil,
can
baby."
somebody get me back? Yeah, that was good, dude.
I left my all out there. And that's why no one, skis is like the classic, let's celebrate, let's drink. No matter what's happening.
Come on, it's Halloween.
We had
It's
this
your birthday. Come on.
Yeah. It's always something.
It's Labor Day. Come on.
Yeah,
But
it's always something.
I can literally just
Take it
have
out,
so
come on.
much peace and solace in my heart because I know how much I left it all out in the field.
You did.
There's nothing left there. And if
there's-
I want to, I'll go send it. But it's just like for right now, it just doesn't serve me. I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah.
I know where I've been with it. Like I'm not gonna reach the promised land. I'm not going there anymore. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
I
I've
do
reached
just
the promised
wish.
land.
I wish. I was saying this yesterday to you. I think I might have texted it to you. I was like, I really wish you guys could actually see the game tape of how drunk we were recording some of those songs.
Oh my God.
Like I wish they could see, like when we're talking about, it,
If
like,
they saw the up again?
we were like, we were super drunk. Like, no, we were not just. Super,
I was-
We were not just super drunk, man. We were completely, like, bro. I was absolutely rinsed, bro. I had nothing. Like, it was all guesswork, and it was all just like.
I think the most impressive thing I do in my entire life
is record in that state.
Put all my accolades,
it's
everything I've
record in
ever
that
done.
state.
Yeah.
The most impressive thing that's happened is like I've gone from somebody who's not a computer guy, I didn't know how to do shit, and I had to
Engineer
I am
myself.
engineering myself, and I'm so fucked up. I don't even know how. And I'm not saying, hey, we put that whole song together there, but at the very least, there's been so many great songs that have been actualized and impacted millions of people's listening and they're fans of it that had no business being recorded. You know what I mean? Like the fact that I was able to just fucking
Bro, literally.
keep it.
I swear to God.
Just
Mike,
keep
I'm
it there
telling
so
you,
we
dude.
could actually make that a song.
Dude.
Those are the biggest wins out of that.
It's so crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how stupid we look. I can
But, can you imagine?
Like, bro, we're we're in our
My
underwear.
pants are down around my ankles.
Mike's got his shorts around his ankles. I'm in my underwear, no shirt.
With an audience there.
I'm no
And
shirt.
there's 40 people in the room. Everybody's just as rinsed. And I'm in Mike's here bro, this is the one. This has got to be the one. If I get knocked down. It's like, bro, when you guys took 2 shots.
Yeah.
Absolutely rinsed. And then it clicks and it's like,
Yeah.
Michael, come get me in the morning. Let's go hear what we did.
Yeah, because
And then that's when you put it together.
making music right now to me is a fucking blast. As much as you could say, oh, he's retiring, or even if maybe we'll make a lot of money here soon. I don't know. There's a lot of aspects of my life going on. Even if all of it goes exactly right and we're fucking filthy rich, you know, I still really feel like I have a fucking blast making music, and I won't want to stop.
Yeah, I was gonna ask those nights where you're just like on a whole different level, drinking wise or whatever. Are you gonna miss that, creating in that style?
I mean,
I don't think it's over though.
But if I
don't want anyone to think it's over.
Because dude, if I miss it, I'm just not gonna have a bunch of randoms around. Like,
yeah,
I'll get zapped. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just there's
different atmosphere.
Yeah, different elements.
Yeah,
like,
and it's not like we're going to the clubs. Like, everyone come over for a weekend.
Bro,
Let's have a weekend, boat days.
Like, we still do that, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I went to Baker's the other day. That was a fucking chef's kiss.
I had an awesome
of what
time.
It was. What I wanted to do. Like, it was just the buddies. And,
awesome time.
You know, it's just like, I have also like, you have a girlfriend and it's different, and it's like, that was a big part of going out for me as I evaluated. Like, yeah, like you want to, like, I just loved getting around new women and like new conversation, you know, and that's part of it.
Yeah.
But then that element now, like, dude, when I go, not to say, you know, it is what it is, right? The crowd is what it is. But when I'm around like a bunch of people I really fuck with.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. And like, why do I need a crowd? I have crowds all the time.
I've been that way forever, man.
Bro, and like, for whatever reason, I had that vibe in me where I wanted a crowd around. Like, didn't matter who it was. If you think about the Scottsdale house, like,
even LA
bro,
too.
In LA, like,
Yeah.
and that was cool. Like, I had that time in my life, you know, but I'm like crowded out, you know? So like, that's kind of more what it is. When I go to bars, like, I really feel like I'm feeling people's energy. I feel it, you know what I mean? It could be just a lot for me now, you know, where before it didn't fucking matter. Like, I actually.
Well, you just have a couple more shots and you'll match the energy. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly, but that's what was.
And that's the dangerous
But that's what
part
was
of it.
happening.
Yeah, that's exactly
I was getting more and more fucked up because I genuinely wasn't like that happy or comfortable in it. You know, I didn't love it. Like, I would have to go get fucking zapped.
Yeah, because that's what people do.
And then I don't like the way I'm acting, and that was the whole cycle, this ecosystem of like where I kind of felt like I needed to wean off it. You know.
Yeah.
You throw me that lighter, Steve. It went around. Interesting delivery, but it worked.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It worked.
I think that's the right idea.
Yeah, it
Which
worked.
I don't want to hit that.
Run that game tape back, slow mo it.
I'm doing an NFL
You circle
pick.
it, circle it like the yellow.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what we do.
Since the dawn of time, men have always loved to chug beer. In the old times of Bavaria, the men of Germany would spend their Oktoberfest drinking out of a festive beer stein. In the 1980s, fraternity brothers all over America spent their Greek week pounding beer out of a funnel. And for the last 4 decades, the world went silent. Then came the Chug Bud, the new revolutionary way to chug a beer. With the combination of a beer bong and a shotgun, this drinking device is scientifically proven to help you chug your beer quickly and easily. Oh, and did I mention it fits in your pocket? Go to chugbuds.com and use promo code YNK69 to get 10% off your entire order. That's chugbuds, CHUGBUDS.com, and promo code YNK69 to get 10% off your entire order. Chugbud, your beer just got a new best friend. This is you listening to premium music by Mike. Getting wasted on the beach. Premium music by Mike. Dancing with a hot girl. Listening to premium music by Mike. Hot girl sitting at the bar. Getting hammered on a rooftop. Hot girl at the bar looking your way. You in a dope suit. Money. Convertibles. Premium music. You having a threesome. Your friend joins in. Shots. Lots of fucking money. Dancing to premium music. Hot girls. Beer. Champagne. Girls making out. More cars. More money. More fucking chicks. Premium music. Drink a beer. Drink another beer. Drink it all, you fucking pussy. Premium music. Hot chicks. OnlySteves.com.
We can shift gear. We can do a couple more questions before we head out of here.
Sure.
Shifting a little quick. I think this is pretty important to address because I've found myself feeling this way like a lot. His name's Stesso, must be Italian or something. Stesso. He said, I found myself on a few productive weeks, business-wise, life-wise, gym-wise, and then I fall into a slump and fall off the productivity train. Any advice on staying on the productivity train?
I mean, I'm telling you right now.
I have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, but like, if you feel that way, he's writing that, so he like obviously doesn't know where to start.
Yeah.
Just buy Atomic Habits and read it. Just don't. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying do this or that. Just buy that book and read it.
Yeah.
I really, because like, bro, that's what they're talking about. It's not, when you hear Atomic Habits, you're thinking, you know, like at least the way I read it, it was just like, you think about like big changes, it sounds big. They're saying on the atom level, tiny changes. Just implement tiny changes. And the reason I say that is because that's what happens. You seesaw, because I seesaw, and that's a form of balance, seesawing. So like you're doing extreme weeks, and then think about our lifestyle. I've been seesawing for a long time. Yeah. And that's how I've stayed like at least in decent shape, you know, like because I do go extreme healthy, and then I have these extreme times of fucking poisoning my body and shit. Yep. You know what I mean? So the key is never letting it snowball. And the way you can do that is just like, it's literally like, oh, like I really don't feel like doing shit. Just go for a fucking walk. Yeah. That's not hard. That's not gonna make you, like, it's hard when you're like falling out of shape and you're like, I gotta go to the gym and fucking do a goddamn 20 minutes on the stairs and then shit's hard and I'm stressing.
Go walk for an hour.
Start, at least go outside. Yeah. Like Evan was talking about that, you know, like and then the best you can do that day, but like those little small, little tiny 1%ers, they start to add up, and like, at least you're not falling completely off the wagon.
Well, then you feel like you're just living your life versus actually accomplishing tasks. Yeah. Because it's your routine. Right. It's like, this is just my day.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of great points. And trust me, I get it. I hate, like, I get pushed back to myself internally. I have an internal dialogue. Like, when I'm doing everything very regimented and I'm like, I literally have to tell myself, like, yo, go outside, enjoy yourself. It's all right. Like, you have to you don't want it to feel like a job, but their point in that Atomic Habits is that you make it part of your, like a ritual in the morning, not a regiment, but like a little ritual to yourself, you know, like, what's going to make me feel good? Just put me on a good vibe for the day, you know? And it becomes regimented to the point where you don't really have to think about it. You wake up, I get on the ground, I stretch a bit, I meditate, whatever. I don't even think about it, you know? And you're setting yourself up for like a better day, a better experience, you know, like a better time, better ideas come. Like, I really do feel that way, you know? So if back to the original thing, is just tiny little things just to make sure you're not going completely off the wagon, you know? Because then it gets harder and harder to hop back on the health train. When you feel like shit and you look like shit, you don't want to go to the gym, you know?
Yeah. I think there's, like work-wise anyways, there's a narrative, especially amongst Americans, and it's like the whole capitalism, you know, rags to riches, come to America, make something of yourself, you know, the rich get richer. And we have like this conception that, like, and you see it, even people feed themselves that on social media. It's like, you got to grind, wake up and grind 4:30 every day, work your ass off, spend 12 hours a day working. And there's this conception that, like, you have to do that to be successful. Successful people do that. And like you just said, seesawing is okay because, like, when you get in that mentality, when you feel like you have to just be on 12 hours a day, you're going to fucking grind yourself to the ground, and it's going to make you unhappy. And then when you're not doing that, you're going to feel guilty that you're not doing that. 100%. And then it's a cycle where you're actually feeling guilty that you're not pushing yourself to the limits, where you're making yourself miserable.
Yeah. All right. So there's this thing, it's my favorite spiritual lane. I don't even know what to call it. It's the Taoism. Yeah. And it's literally another word for balance. Living in balance. Yeah. Don't go all the way here. Don't go all the way here.
Exactly.
Live in this middle ground. And it's like where don't try comes from. It's just like when you're thrown into a river, what's going to happen if you you don't like the way the river's taking you and you turn against the current and you swim and I'm going to get back over there. That's where I want to be. Mm-hmm. You're going to fucking tire yourself out and you're going to die. Yep. You know what I mean? So like, it's about being in the flow of like where things take you, and then actually just looking, like, as you're going down the river, there's going to be another escape route. There's going to be another turn. There's going to be another, you don't even know what's up ahead. And that's kind of the notion, is just like living in balance is really like, it's the key. It's the way. It's another word for the way, is the Tao. Yeah. And I urge anyone to just like, listen to Wayne Dyer talk about the Tao Te Ching and the Tao. And it's like ancient wisdom, and it's fucking true. Yeah. It's about being in flow and not trying to, not necessarily, for lack of a better word, like play God. Take where you are, always. Take where you are, assess where you are, be open to where you are. You know what I mean? And don't resist where you are, where life puts you, type thing. So in regards to that question though, we're back to it. Like, it's just balance. Don't let it go full extreme. You know what I mean? Yep. And I really feel like that keeps you at least even keel enough to fucking survive and advance.
Yeah, dude, I'm from experience. I was so environmentally programmed when right out of college, I went to New York City, And think of the environment of New York City. Think of the hustle and bustle. Like 8 a.m., there's thousands of people walking down the streets with their suitcases and their suits going to work. Then at the end of the day, 5 o'clock, everyone's hustling back to work. Everyone's going to the gym.
It's a rat race.
You visually see it, and you're a part of it, and it becomes a part of you. And like I was doing okay for myself, but I was on the worst vibe. And like my friends would be like, "Dude, are you okay? Like you look like you're really stressed out." And like someone actually literally stopped me on the street once. I'll never forget this. And he's like, "Are you okay? You doing all right?"
You're kidding.
He's like a spiritual guy, but yeah. And he asked if I was like okay. He's like, "You need to slow down." He literally told me I need to slow down. Because like, I guess whatever look on my face or the way I was feeling, I don't know. He just could see it on my face. And that city, like, yeah, it did great things for me. But dude, I was just not on a good vibe whatsoever. You know?
I told you, I don't know how the hell you survived there that long.
Yeah. And like, I get
that
it.
place
Like,
kills me.
Well, I was there for 5 hours. I was pissed about it. I did not enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's like so not my style. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I get it though. Like, I understand it. And I understand the charm. I don't need New York fucking, yelling at me.
Yeah. I mean, look, all this shit is just, it's a fucking one-player game. So like my answers aren't necessarily going to be your answers or for everyone. Everyone has their own unique case,
Yeah.
And places that serve them and states. But I do think the baseline of spirituality is just like really what everybody needs, in one way or another. And it can look however, but it's just a lot of the baseline notions across religions and different spiritualities and different aspects. I feel like they all share a lot of the same baseline thoughts. And it's kind of what you were just saying. Like, bro, it's not just this isn't just like a human, like, it's hard when you have struggles, right? You have to literally live on this plane. Be like, yo, I have to go do this job because I have to pay rent, because I have to feed the kids. And you're stuck in a rat race. And it's really hard. This is a luxury to be able to develop into the way we're thinking and the way I'm thinking for myself. Like, I can be a thinking man because for whatever reason, my God's gifts like put me in a place where I don't live in a regiment like job and I don't have to be up. I have time to think, actually thinking, pondering life and shit. It makes you a better artist. You know what I mean? It actually serves me, where like the guy who has 2 kids has to be up at 8. It's hard to tell that guy to sit down and think and slow down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's challenging. So I don't want people to hear this and think that way. Like that's like a reaction a lot of people have. Like, easy for you to say, man. Like, which I get where they're coming from.
Some of these things, it's 10 minutes a day though. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
You talk about meditation, you talk about journaling. And this is another question we had from Trey here. He was asking like, what's a beginner's guide to get into journaling? Mm-hmm. And like, I have a view on it, which I'm sure is different than yours. I think you did it purely for like spirituality reasons and like self-awareness, gratitude, stuff like that. The reason I got into journaling was because I'm a storyteller. I like to tell stories, and it just started as simply as that.
Yeah.
Like I had experiences in my life that I thought were worth documenting, and I wrote about them, and that's it. And from that, you become the main character of your own story. And when you start to have this main character and you read about it in this story, you start to figure out who that person is. And you literally discover who you are as a person as you write about it and your experiences. So I didn't start out doing it for a spiritual reason. I'm just telling a story about how Mike drank, his own pee that one day on tour. But then you find out, underneath that, like what you were feeling at that time, and like who was around you.
Yeah.
Like what was your life like? How are you reacting to it? And then you start to really like see a scope of your whole fucking life. And I did I did it for 7 years. And there's some stuff I wrote that like, in between all like the funny stories, like there's some deep ass shit. And I'm like, oh wow, I was really feeling this way then. And I was hanging out with these people and I was doing this and I was like drinking a lot or I was doing that. And
like, it's really cool.
And then you can really figure out who you are as a person.
McConaughey, Green Lights.
Yeah.
That's I watched the whole thing where he talks about that and he's just like, man, I learned like, it was a similar notion. It's just like, I learned everything I needed to know about myself through journaling.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's that for me. It's transformed. I started for a different reason, I literally was like, I want to reprogram my mind. I dove into the subconscious. I dove into the brain. Like I was watching, in LA, I was watching TED Talks every morning. It was part of my morning routine.
Yeah.
I was watching TED Talks on neurology and spirituality and psychedelics and Joe Rogan was a big part of it. I know that's like a stereotypical thing to say at this point.
We were on it on the earlier side.
But it doesn't even matter. I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck what anyone thinks on the internet. Like I really like, I was impacted by some of the conversations he had. And I just knew I needed change. I needed change in my outlook. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, that like everyone's process is different. For me, I got into understanding what reprogramming the mind does. I truly sit from a seat where I know I've reprogrammed my mind. You can't tell me it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a fuck if you think, if I walk out and they're like, Mike did too many mushrooms. You know what I mean? Because dude, I'm sitting from a seat that I know I changed my mind.
Yeah.
I know I reprogrammed the way I look at life.
I seen it. I was there.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think anyone watching me for this whole time, even if you weren't in the room with me, you could see, you know?
Yeah.
So I come from a seat of just like, dude, who gives a fuck what everyone else thinks? If you're thinking this way or if you're feeling this way, do this shit. Here's what worked for me. You know what I mean? And it's not gonna look the same. And I wanna stress that. Don't be rigid in what I'm telling you. Just listen to like the baseline of these conversations. You know what I mean? It's gonna look different for you, but you can go in on yourself, spend some time alone, and fucking craft who you wanna be and what you want your life to be. I also know that I'm coming from a seat of, what's the word I'm looking for? Entitlement a bit, because, you know, I've had lucky breaks in my life where I was able to take some time to really try to reprogram my mind. It's hard to do that when you're hustling and bustling. It really is.
Yeah.
I'm fucking going to meditation retreats and like learning how to do transcendental meditation. And I'm reading 2 hours a day about, like, for a while there, I was like a fucking monk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was just like, this shit was like, I literally was like that meme, was Zach Galifianakis with like the numbers. Like it was all like clicking and making sense. And I was like, then I realized I had manifested a lot of what already happened without even knowing it. And then I'm like, oh, I can. And then, bro, if you go back and look at my quantum journal, which is quantum is just like, I write in the present, like I'm going to make this much money. I've already, or not even I'm going to. Like I'm saying grateful, so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the $15 million I made this year. I'm grateful for...
And they haven't happened yet.
Yeah, and then I look back, bro, and they happened.
Yeah.
I started doing that in 2016. I have the fucking journal still. And I did a lot of this shit.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
So no one can tell me shit. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, and I haven't, you live in my life. I mean, you live in my house. I never told you that. It's great to share on here. You know what I mean? But it's personal wins. It's like personal affirmations when you do this shit and then it happens in your life. You're like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like that happened to me a lot.
Yeah. No, dude, so I was in my dad's garage when I was just back home in Boston, and I was going through, I have all these boxes of like just shit from my childhood and early years. And I found a journal. I only wrote in like 3 or 4 entries, but it was from like 2011. And it started with Dear Future John Kilmer. So I was like getting eerie reading it. I'm like, wow, this is from like 11 years ago.
Fuck.
I'm like, I literally wrote these these notes to myself, my future self.
Oh, God.
And I didn't touch them for 11 years. And I came back and I opened this dusty box and I'm like, oh, a journal. And I opened it. There's only 3 or 4 entries, but it all starts with Dear Future John Kilmer. And like, obviously I was the biggest fucking douchebag on the planet, but I was talking about stuff how like...
You really were one of the douchiest guys in the universe.
Ever. Like I was talking about girls in them, obviously, and like I'm like, oh God, I can't fucking read this. This is embarrassing. But then I get to parts where I'm talking about how my career is unfolding, and I had like barely started working with you, and like I mentioned you and some of it because I'd like probably just started working with you.
I met this new douchebag, Mike.
I met another one.
He sucks, but I'm gonna fucking use him to get some.
I met this dick bag. He's just like me.
Yeah.
No, but anyways, the point I'm trying to make is like I'm talking about how like my career's unfolding. And like people are paying me money to like fly out and shoot videos for them. And I'm like a year out of college and like amazed that anyone would even pay money to have me fly halfway across the country to shoot a video for them. I'm like, this is insane. Like, I'm so like the future's hopeful. Like, this is like this is like my dream. And like, I'm like, wow, like I don't, you know, like, of course I'm grateful for like my present, but like, I don't really have that perspective of 11 years ago. And to read that, because I journaled, I put in the time to journal that, it makes you so much more appreciative of today, you know? And so if anything for journaling,
That's a great notion.
For anything of journaling, like think of your future self and how it's going to impact you 10 years from now.
Well, listen, bro, this is what daily journaling, this is simply like when I started back, I didn't answer that question. the best way, if you're trying to get in this vibe at all, is just start with writing 3 things you're grateful for.
Yeah.
Because that feeling that gave you, wouldn't you want to revisit that every day if you could?
Yeah.
Just be like, a lot of times when I journal, bro, I don't even write new journals anymore. I just read. And like reflecting on the shit that, and a lot of it's timeless. Like I am perfectly healthy and happy, and thank you that my parents and my sister are doing well. Like, you know what I mean? So these are daily things, but like if you visit that every morning, do you think you're gonna be in a better or worse mood?
Better, yeah.
So what are we talking about?
Yeah.
What is more important than feeling good when you're alive?
I know.
So like, is it that crazy to sit and write a fucking 5-minute journal entry and then reflect for 5 minutes and be like, yeah, things are going well.
Instead of picking up your phone and
Things
checking
could be
Instagram.
way worse.
Yeah.
Instead,
Yeah.
you invite 30 people into your room while you're in bed, because that's what you're doing. They're in your head.
Inbox, DM,
and you're
like
fucking
this, yeah.
swiping and you're looking at all the shit that everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
And your brain's already right out of the gate. It's scientifically in theta state when you wake up. It's ready to be fed and told what to do.
Yeah.
And you're giving it fucking bottle service from the night before from some douchebag in Miami. You know what I'm saying?
I love that metaphor.
Or you could fucking visit yourself, visit your fucking what you want for yourself.
Yeah.
Or just some shit that you wrote last month that's like, you know, makes you just reflect like, man, we've had a good month, or things are good. I feel okay, you know?
Yeah.
That's what the whole notion is.
Yeah. That's fucking wild. Amen to that.
That gets me fired up.
Skis, you gonna start journaling?
He's thinking about it.
No, it's like, I bounce in and out of it though. It's not like I've never done it.
Yeah.
But
I feel like voice memos.
Yeah, I gotta-
would be
I mean,
a way-
right now, excuse.
I need
take this as a
you're
notion.
Right. No, you're right. You're right.
Take this as an omen.
As this was happening,
You
I'm stoned too. I'm not kidding you. I forgot not that stoned, but I was like really listening to you guys have your conversation and forgot that I was involved in it.
Yeah, no,
I was like-
sometimes you just gotta listen.
I was wearing that
Just gotta
one.
look at it.
I was wearing that one. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you
the
gotta
truth.
be-
I was sitting here like, oh my god.
You gotta be.
I gotta start.
Yeah, you got it right now.
Yeah, bro.
Because, dude, like so much is gonna change. So
Oh,
much
when
has
these
changed.
are the dear future John Kim. I was like, oh, I gotta do. Who do dear future?
A good
ski?
thing.
I'm like super excited.
I got
about
this tattoo that I got right here. It's new and it's in my face and I see it every day. And it's kind of the first like risk I took where like I have like an art piece that I like see. You can see it. And honestly, it's my favorite thing I've ever done. It's my favorite because I've since I've gotten it. It's just on this topic. Like it's about It's about treating your fucking mind and your human experience like a fucking garden.
Yeah.
How do you gotta visit it every day. You can't let it go. You can't let it flow. Like you can't forget to fucking water it, or it's gonna die.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that happens to people's human experience. They're alive, but they're dead.
Yeah.
They got no passion for their fucking life. They're not even living their own lives. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they're not alive inside, bro. Like think about what Larry King was saying. Like I'll never forget that conversation, bro. Like he said, I feel fucking young, and he's dying. He died like a few months later.
Yep.
But his mind was so alive, bro, because he fucking went and did the shit he wanted to do, and he never stopped.
Yeah.
Like he never stopped. He did like 8 million thousand fucking
30,000, no, 60,000.
like an absurd amount of interviews because he
Yeah.
loved it. You know what I mean? He
That's
just
so many.
his mind, like bro, his shit was he was still fucking sharp as a tack, like crazy. So, and I really truly think that like just take the fucking time to nourish your mind a little bit and nourish your life, and whatever that looks like. But this another thing with this tattoo, it teaches you.
Skin soft.
lotion.
What we were talking, what the hell? I have a point. What I was trying to say is like, look at your life, like this whole conversation, and I think we've been circling this topic, is just like, make your choices. Like, what kind of story do you want it to be?
Yeah.
Do you want it to be, I went to the bar 8,000 times and had the same conversations I don't remember? Like, I realized I was having that. I was doing that. You know what I mean? I really don't recall a lot of the conversations, and I'm sure they were all amazing. And I don't regret any of them because they like fed my subconscious in a way. Those experiences stay with you.
Yeah.
But I want new ones.
Did you send me that video of like the musician or rock star who's talking about how like he was thankful for like those 20 years he was an addict in it? And
Yes. And I said I want to talk about this on the podcast.
Like he was like he needed those 20 years
He
of
put
being
it
an
so
addict.
eloquently, but
Yeah.
like more or less he's saying like,
It made him realize he didn't want that.
he's addicted to like hard drugs. He's like, I wouldn't change one thing. I needed every one of those moments to be who I am now.
Yeah.
You know, so
I think it was a writer maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you fucking live life and like sometimes the choices are hard because you're programmed to like this. Like, oh, that's what you do, man. That's who you are. Come on, have a drink. You know?
Yeah.
But I want to fucking have a whole other fucking smorgasbord of fucking different experiences. Imagine how swagged out I'll be then. You know what I mean? Like that's how I'm looking at it. And I brought up this tattoo because it's reminding me, just like, which decision are you gonna make? Like in the Atomic Habits, they said like that girl got a tattoo or she had a note on her mirror. Like, what would a healthy person do? Yep. Because she was just so overweight, and like every single decision she made, every little choice, she asked herself, what would a healthy person do here? Would he get the pizza or would he just get the fucking, you know what I mean? And and changed her whole life.
Yeah. How did he say it? It's like being like being in like a committee or something like that. Like, and like all the votes go towards something or.
Yeah, something like that.
How he said it. Yeah.
But like, this is just my experience now. I'm literally saying I partied my ass off for a decade straight and I wouldn't change one thing about it. So if you're in that, which you are, I think Skis thinks this is like a
intervention.
It's gonna be good.
No, but
it's gonna be okay.
I'm in here wearing.
No, but Skis, like, and a lot of people listening, they're younger, right? Like,
because I do feel it, bro. I'm telling you.
This isn't to say you don't go fucking have your fun and do whatever the fuck is in your heart. You know what I mean? But I'm just giving game from a seat that did that for a long time, and I'm literally so maybe. If you're in the middle of that, maybe I'm saying continue doing exactly what you're doing.
You also know who I am when I'm not on that vibe as well now. So that's why you're like trying to push me in these directions because you know I'm like I do want it to happen in my life, and I'm like probably pushing and pushing.
It's literally part of growing up. You're just young. You know what I mean? Like I didn't.
No, bro, because I'm pretty sure everybody probably does when you get into like this length of like. How I'm living my life, but you think about it all the time. Like, it's not like a random thought where I'm like, all right, Skis.
But
like,
you genuinely you genuinely are a great partier, and you genuinely have amazing conversations and experiences and you're one of the best networkers. Like, so it's not even to say it should stop. It's just about how are you using your other time.
That's what I was gonna say. It's about the other times. Yeah, it's like. Yeah.
I mean, bro, I was 32 years old, 31, 32. Yes, I was making I've been making this change in my being and how I use my other time since I'm 26 or 27, I think. Right? Around 27, maybe 28.
Yeah.
So my point is, and I just partied my hardest this past year. So like, you can be making these strides in your life and you change your outlooks and shit. And still be partying and fucking doing that shit. And it actually makes your party experience better. For me, it was. You know, it did. Like, and I was really going after it. But doing the spiritual work and the reading and just like, it's like that balance. We talk about the way, like the Tao. Like if you're partying, but I'm still growing, I'm reading, I'm doing, you know, my outlooks on life are changing. You know, so they don't necessarily like, oh, you turn into a monk. Because that's scary too.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that really ever. Maybe in some time, but
celibacy, gross.
I mean, I'm borderline celibate. I've been for a minute.
Haven't even cranked it?
No, I'm cranked it.
I cranked it.
Almost lost that one.
Can't wait to cut that clip.
That was perfect.
The zoom in?
He said, no.
I had the little roach in my mouth.
Yeah.
I cranked it.
No, that's good. That's healthy though.
You got to clean the pipe sometimes.
I can't wait for that clip. I'm posting that.
You know, yeah, I've cracked it.
Oh no.
A little smoke coming out.
And a don't mess with Texas crop top.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Would you say Skis got you into the crop tops? Is he the one?
Fucking erroneous.
Yeah.
That's not even close to the truth.
Oh, it's not the truth.
No.
Okay. Oh no, you did it. You did it for the video.
Think about. I did it before Skis was even. Skis was watching. Saw me. It was like,
you want to?
Damn.
You want
that crop top.
Mike, you do not want to.
So you wear the crop tops because of Mike?
You don't want to pull back game tape of when I put on my.
I'm not saying you got it from me.
Of when I put my.
I'm just saying.
You better not be.
I'm just saying I didn't get it from you.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll let everybody else.
I would tell you that.
No, but we'll let everyone else.
I would give you the flowers.
We'll let everybody else pick.
We'll let you decide.
I don't
You're
know,
just pissed because I look better.
I got on Mike's neck about letting me crop one of his tees, and he finally let me do it. And then he pulls up the Bakers.
I was
and
gonna
he pulls
get
up the
water,
Bakers the other day, and he's wearing it, And I said, did you crop that yourself? Or like,
You know
what's going on here?
damn well.
I don't know.
I had one of the more viral crop tops of the year. I did.
I want to go on
did.
record though.
But
This
I
is
was-
4 years ago.
Yeah.
This is 4 years ago right here.
And you look.
Yeah,
and,
but that you
and
were
let's
being-
mention.
but you were purposefully being a douchebag.
Let's mention
To
that
show my
he-
six-pack,
He looks,
yeah, absolutely.
you look
see,
fantastic.
You
in
look
that.
great.
It's a women's medium, by the way.
Oh my god.
You look fantastic there.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
we'll let everybody-
my mountains midriff
It was a good midriff.
really made
But-
some waves.
That was the bravest thing you
you're
ever done.
forgetting.
I know.
How brave was that? That was brave.
You know what it is? You know what it is, John?
What's that?
He's living his own life.
You realize, yeah, to a certain extent.
Here we go.
I really, here it goes.
There you go.
I actually don't give a, like, you want to know what true freedom is? You actually don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks.
Yeah, I give 0 fucks.
The old me,
I'm pretty good at that on like a surface level, but then there's other things I gotta clean up.
Yeah.
But like, I'll pull up looking like an idiot.
yeah, you don't give a fuck.
No.
About, there's other
But there's
ways.
other things I care. There's other
Yeah,
things I do.
yeah.
And I'm like, why would you care about that though?
Yeah.
Like you'll go into the club in your underwear.
You have a very,
And smoke
you gotta,
cigarettes.
you gotta get, you're in a good mind state, I'd say. I think you're doing great. I don't want you to take this the wrong way.
Something's gotta give.
This is the skis intervention
Mike,
episode.
Mike and Johnny were knocking on my door.
You have a
later.
problem.
You good there?
We're worried.
I'm on my 90th page. When I was 10, I don't like the way I felt when I
yeah. Hey, good things. Good
started
things.
somewhere.
We're probably the best human beings on the planet for you to be around.
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
I'm having a blast with it. It's the right idea.
And I say that humbly.
No, it's the right idea.
No, just like, because you see, like,
I have every balance that I need.
yeah,
I have
yeah,
every
exactly.
mixture of everything that I need.
You'll have that game, like, to when you're processing all this.
Oh, dude.
and when it happens for
I'm
you,
watching.
but, like,
They wouldn't be able to notice, but I've grown up a lot in the last year.
you have.
Like genuinely.
Yeah, I think you have for
Like
sure.
there's things that I'm doing that were like, and
100%.
there's things that I'm enjoying.
You're
now
like a
that-
real guy
There's
now.
there's things that I'm enjoying now that I never thought I would have enjoyed.
Reflect on that a little bit.
That's what I'm saying.
I wanna hear it.
I mean, dude, like I'm enjoying.
They wanna hear it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying
Tell us, Keith.
being alone. And if you could even go back, damn near on our first podcast,
terrified
I was
of being
like,
alone.
I hate it. I'm enjoying it a little bit. Like, bro, you wouldn't catch me dead sleeping without a TV. You just wouldn't. And like people can go back. I mean, that's since I'm like probably a kid. Actually, since I can remember, you're not gonna catch me dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wearing it in there. I'm wearing it in the pitch black, man. I swear to God, it's like genuine. I don't think
Yeah.
I'm the only person that feels this way either.
No, you're not.
There's no way.
But it's also
Silence,
it-
bro. Silence and darkness. I'm cool with one or the other.
It's a
Both are crazy.
It's a reflection. It's a reflection of your environmental programming.
Bro, it's
now.
crazy. And
Think
that's
about how you grew up. Explain how you grew up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like my whole life, there was not probably like a 4 or 5 day period in my whole life where somebody wasn't sleeping at my fucking. People were not.
Like
at
somebody
my,
not in your family was sleeping at your
Yeah,
house.
sleeping at the crib, like 100%. And
Yeah, it was
every
like an
day-
Omaha brothel
Bro,
for
it really was. It was a
kindred,
brothel.
for lost souls.
Yeah, for lost souls. Bro, it really was
brothel.
like that though. Like it was open door policy, bro. Like garage open, like
Yeah.
doors open, come over.
Which is the tidal wave?
It was a tidal wave, bro. And my dad needed it. My mom, like that, we needed it. Everybody needed it.
so
my dad like really
because they
enjoyed
fed
it.
off your
Yeah,
dad.
well,
they-
my dad didn't have a good like fail. The whole diving deep into that another day, but like,
Right.
So he wanted to be like that guy,
Right.
And he did it. And he was that guy. Like it was 30, 40, 50,
That's a
60,
vibe.
60 people in and out of this crib over the course of like 15 years, and it was just like not. It was a nut house.
Your dad's a great guy, by the
Oh,
way.
he's a legend.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And like, bro, so I never had like there's little things that like I didn't learn
Right.
at all. I just never learned how like
and and it's,
bro never learned it.
it's turned into
Certain like responsibility things.
It's
and, like,
so
certain-
unknown to you to be alone and be alone with silence with your thoughts. Like
Oh my
it's
God.
it's such a foreign.
Our crib was never like my house. My family was never like. My dad was always up. Like he was always up late as a motherfucker. I could walk downstairs at 4 a.m. He's
Yeah.
down there reading, doing what he's doing.
Dude, your personality is so shaped by this.
Bro.
Like the way you
I never
are?
thought about it till right now. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm unpacking it.
Dude, you're so
I'm
shaped
unpacking
by
it.
this
Dad,
shit.
I love you.
this is the
I'm
skis
unpacking
intervention.
this right now. No, I'm unpacking this because, bro, it's crazy. My whole life, bro. Like when you guys walk in the crib, I'll be on that couch, huh?
Yeah.
When you walk out of your room, I'll be on that couch, and you'll be like, oh, and I'll be like, hey, how are you?
Yeah,
It
because
sounds like I'm wide awake. I could have just been asleep.
but you just you and like subconsciously you just crave support, whether it's
Bro, I love it.
whether it's just somebody being around, you hear
Bro,
it,
I
you know
love
what I
it.
mean?
Yeah.
Like which isn't a bad thing. It's dope to want to be around people and be a fucking breath of fresh air that like is really comfortable with a lot of people.
Yeah,
which
but
you
I'll
are.
still feel the same way, but I need the other side of it.
Yes.
It's the extreme thing. It's the
Yes.
I'm at the extreme, and I've been at the extreme for so long.
You have a lot of
And
growing
over the
up- you have
last,
a lot of growing up to
Yeah,
do.
over the last like 6 months, I'll be like, all right,
Yeah.
here we go.
But I've
Let's give
had
these things
your
a shot.
friends. I've had multiple versions of, you know, just different skis guys who like have known skis in so many different little facets
so
of his
many
life
lives.
and like
So many different
and
all the same guy, but different lives.
yeah, and they're just like, you know, especially some of like the LA guys, just like, dude, he's like, it's just crazy to see him. Like he's so much more. You were just like, I forget how he put it exactly, but he's just like, dude, he's like a man. He's like doing it. You know what I mean? Like you're doing your own thing. You're a man. Like you're like, it's one thing to be, you were the star of the show socially always, but it's one thing to then be doing something.
Yeah,
like everyone's there for your event.
100%.
And then you're hosting
bro, I had
it.
homies crying up there on the bottom.
Yeah, 100%.
Bro, it's been a grind.
Because you've been the
and
back.
not even like a grind, like as in I was busting my ass.
Every single one of your family members has dragged me aside and said thank you.
Yeah.
Bro, because I was just a son of a bitch. And like, it was always one of those things, bro, my whole life.
They just can't believe it's like going down.
Bro, for me and
down.
everyone that's been close to me ever, it's always been like, no matter of time. Like, you know,
Yeah.
It's bro, forever. He's like, you know, for one of these
because
days, it's all gonna be, it's all gonna be fine.
Yes, you were a background guy in LA. I only say that because like just social numbers, like these guys, all the kids you were buddies with, just like booming on Vine and girls
booming.
And you're just,
everybody's booming.
But you're the background guy, yes. But in every social setting, you were the front man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So now the fact that you're like, there's something going on with it, and it's just so cool and good and like tasteful, you know, like it's a whole new element to your life, who you are.
Yeah, bro, it's actually crazy. I was on the phone with my dad the other day. I was on not a bunch of mushrooms, but I was on enough mushrooms to feel this way.
Yeah.
But I was like, I was talking to my dad, and he was getting all emotional because he was just like, yo, man, like you look way different. Like you sound different.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, and I remember saying this bar, I was like, dude, I'm finally like actually happy right now. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was never like I was just like crazy down bad.
I
was always happy about like certain things in my life, but I was like, oh man, like I finally get where it's going. Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying it. Like I'm having fun. Like this is
a great feeling.
Yeah, this is like what it is. You know, this is like.
It's a great feeling, and you know what that is? It's a good story for anyone who's listening to like really think about. Is like he's actually at a space right now to say that and genuinely mean it. And if you fast forwarded 24 months ago, he had zero idea. Rewind. I'm a little stoned, but really thinking clearly. Let me add. If you rewind 24 months and you ask him what was next, like he was. Like you were the type of guy who was so content to just like go back to Omaha and like catch a little vibe, marry a local chick, and just like you'd be the man in the neighborhood, just like your pops in a way. Like I worried a few conversations I had with you when you didn't know I was interested in you. I hadn't told you yet, but
Sexually,
but also on a workplace environment, sharing a workspace potentially. And like not interviewing, but just like getting a gauge on how you were thinking. And I remember
wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah, I remember being like, but I noticed very quickly. I was like, oh, it's just because he's just not imagining it for himself yet. You know what I mean? But like you had that because you're just so easygoing and you've grown up in Omaha. Like you had that community there. You love that. You're cool. You can be really happy there. Yeah. Truly, I think you could. 100%.
100%.
But you know, then you get a taste of this. It's just like I knew if you got to see it and feel it, you're gonna want more for yourself. You know,
yeah.
And now,
and like realistically,
that sounds crazy now.
Yeah, 100%. And like now, what I want is like I want to go do things for that city.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
but that's how you do it.
Yeah, I know, 100%. Like this is
being your best self is how you put on for the city. You know what I mean?
100.
And your family.
I mean, dude, because oh my God. I mean, bro, there was so many just ups and downs. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Bro,
Yeah.
I had no idea.
But this is good.
I knew it was gonna be okay. I knew there was directions I could take where if I really just worked at it, you could like figure it out. You'll be fine.
There's another side to that where I was saying like a year ago, 2 years ago, it could change that fast to where he just said, oh man, I'm really genuinely happy. Like I couldn't say that at your age. So here's another side of this point. You could literally, like, skis was somebody who had no direction, right? A year later, you could argue he has more direction than anyone. Like a lot of fucking grown adults were like, they're still not, you know what I mean? Like, so that's how drastically it can change and how quickly. Where like now I feel like Skis is advanced in being where he's supposed to be. Where there's a lot of adults with families and they still don't feel like they've reached where they're supposed to be. And he feels like he's where he's supposed to be at 24?
24, yeah.
And you would argue Skis would be like, ooh, he's a guy that needs to figure out his direction. That's how quick it could happen and actually be genuinely.
I mean, dude, like
I have a question. But do you think that Skis attracted you based on the type of person he is?
Absolutely.
There it is.
That's it gets back to this whole conversation of working on yourself.
Yeah.
There's Skis doesn't work on himself at all. He has qualities that people would work for fucking 40 years on themselves to have. Just a genuine soul level. You know what I mean? So there's just everyone's different. You know what I mean? But 100%, I fucked with Skis. I wouldn't, if Skis was the same, but he didn't have this personality, he had the same talent, I wouldn't be interested. Like, it's really what it's about is being a good person. I know good people, if you have good people working with you and shit, only good things gonna happen. Even if he doesn't go on to be a superstar. So what's wrong with helping a good dude?
He will.
Yeah, but maybe, so what? He doesn't even want it really, like at that level. So what? Who cares where it goes? It's more about what's gonna happen to me, my life, if I help a kid who should be helped and we make some money and put some money in his pocket and we fucking do good shit. Even if, say I broke even or whatever, there wasn't a thing. Like it was just, so what? Either way, like that's where I'm saying I'm making my decisions from that space. Like,
yep.
I wanna help good fucking people. That's the vibe. And then when you help good people, you just end up winning. You know what I mean? You end up winning in more ways than one. So that's the vibe. But that's a good fucking example, bro.
I mean, bro, I didn't even show you that I ever made music probably for a while.
Long time.
Yeah.
You know, you were just happy to be around.
Well,
Good
bro,
vibe,
I actually, like, it's funny, like 2 years ago, almost to the date, like pretty close to the date, was when I got signed up. I got a publishing deal with Renegade Songs and Warner Music. But before that, bro, like I'd made a handful of songs over the course of like 2 or 3 years. And like, it was just never gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like I thought I was just like this. I pretty much gave up on it. You know, I was still always gonna like pop into the studio once every few months and like make a record or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was never like actually on the radar.
No, when
it wasn't on the radar for a while there. I was like trying to figure out.
I
plans.
thankfully was around you when you put a few songs out for real.
Yeah.
And I just, like I liked the songs, but I just saw. I mean, there's a lot of happenstance stuff that happened where we just kept hanging out, and then I just was like, I saw it could be a thing. Because it was more so how he was like commanding a room full of like cool people. You know what I mean? Where like that's star power.
Well, bro,
it just looks different. You know what I mean? It's like packaged
something that
different.
I just like came across too is like, I think now that I think about it, the real Stevenson Ranch out in LA, that studio, and like being around that for I was probably around that for about 6 months before I even said a word about music.
I heard some of your shit in there and liked it.
Yeah, and like, but it was more for me. I didn't enjoy the way I was making the music. Like, I shouldn't say that. Like, I had a lot of fun on some of those like sessions, you know. But like, this is what I always thought about when I dreamed about being an artist and like doing it. Like, what I was pulling up to was what the dream was. Yeah, was where it started at least.
Studio
and,
like, the crib and
bro, we go out. Everyone comes back to the crib. The studio's up. People are making music. You're playing beer pong. You're smoking cigs inside.
That's it.
Like, I was like, what I'd seen before out of the music industry, I was like, oh, fuck.
No,
I was like, oh, son of a bitch. And then when I pulled up and saw how it was going on, I was like, well, bro, this is what I've been like.
It gave you a picture of what it could really be like.
Yeah, and like I saw the way you were making the music, and you were literally just making this like major change into being, into like dropping the whole mic stuff.
I didn't really have real shit. Like, I had some good records then.
No, bro, you had some great records then.
Yeah.
Well, bro, I was enjoying them, and like I'll be honest, I didn't listen to Mike Stout. Like, it just wasn't on my radar.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, and like, bro, the records that I was hearing there, I was like, dude, like, all right. I was like, all right, this is all starting to add up right now.
Yeah,
and it looked like it was just like a blast, and I was like, oh fuck, all right, here we go.
Yeah, it's just a big old story of you never know, John.
Yes, it is. Well, this has been a great conversation.
It has.
Anyone want to lead us out?
I think everybody needs to go watch Jimmy Valvano's speech. I don't know if you guys have watched that.
It's a really good speech.
Who's Jimmy Valvano?
I think it's North Carolina State. I want to
No,
say.
you're familiar with the Jimmy V Foundation.
Yeah, he's got an unbelievable speech.
I think so.
That
was
basketball.
It fit right into what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking incredible speech.
It is. He died. What was his cancer, right?
Yeah, it was cancer, and he had the speech beforehand.
Yeah, it was like
He
legendary.
kind of knew it was over.
Yeah.
Coming to that. Yeah, go check it out. Jimmy Valvano.
It was legendary.
All right. Go
Yeah,
Celtics.
no, amazing combo. Let's keep this train rolling. We got a ton of. If you don't have tour tickets and you're still listening, that doesn't make sense. Get some tickets. And also, if you're not on Only Steve's on the music side, you're missing out. Get over there. Appreciate we got great support. So we got a bunch of great music coming this summer. Just keep spreading the Steve gospel, guys.
Mike's giving out 100 million ranch waters. Or 100,000. 10 million.
We're just joking about giving out the false information.
We're giving away 10 million ranch waters to a million people.
We're giving
Well, the announcement will already be out by the time we put this out.
I'm giving a million plus dollars worth of ranch waters out to the Steves. That was part of our deal. So we're getting ready to fucking roll it out. It's gonna be hilarious. If you want life, we're giving away a year's supply of ranch water to like a bunch of people.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Yeah. So a year's supply. I think it's like north of 100 cases. And if you just drink through it faster, I'll just be proud of you. But we're not sending more.
Logistically.
Logistically, it'd just be a nightmare. We're just not a logistics company. But yeah, dope shit. Fun stuff coming up.
All right.
Alrighty.
All right.